even though it's a light-hearted comedy, you're taking somebody like, it's not Bond or Jason Bourne and then saying, well, what would they be like in, you know, dating a girl in this, you know, in online? And it's very funny, but at the same time, it's also quite sad, isn't it? When you think about it. Now, I think things that are like honest are even funnier than things that are set up as just gags, do you know what I mean? So you take a lad who desperately wants to sort of change his life and be normal, and then he goes online to find somebody you know, in order to present himself as somebody that he is not. Reese does brilliant gags for the girlies, and you know what I mean? And I'm whipping weapons off people, do you know what I mean? In a way that, you know, should be in another movie too. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you know, it's a nice blend of naughty and funny. It's its own beast, this Ms. Wall.
FDR is like a boisterous, joyful 14-year-old, you know, brother of James Bond. He's the very self-aware spy. He enjoys the fast cars, he enjoys the suits, he enjoys the women, he enjoys the life, he enjoys being a spy. He's like, he's the kid who would have watched the James Bond movies as a kid and said, I want to do that. It's very nice when you get to do a movie about two guys that fall in love with the same woman, and that natural competitive spirit kind of comes out because you know, in many ways fall in love with a beautiful woman. It's very hard not to fall in love with Reese. There's a lot of comedy. I think for guys, it's going to appeal to the, you know, the action impulse in all men. For the women, you have the, you know, you have two guys trying to win over a lady, and you don't know who she's going to pick.
This movie is every girl's fantasy to have two unbelievably sexy, hot guys interested in you. And my character, Lauren, starts the film, and she's, you know, kind of having a rough go with her ex-boyfriend, and that breakup was really hard on her. So it's kind of this ultimate wish fulfillment that she gets to date these two hot guys at once, and they're both interested in her, and it's definitely, you know, definitely a fantasy film. Tom Hardy plays Tuck, and he is just this amazing British actor who has just exploded onto the movie scene. And everybody's so excited about Tom because he has such incredible energy. He's just has a mind that goes 100 miles an hour. And he's also just the sweetest, most loving guy in real life. So he was a perfect casting for Tuck because Tuck is, you know, obviously very physically strong like Tom is, but he has such a soft heart and is really looking for a relationship. Chris Pine plays FDR, and he's just fantastic for that character because he's very composed and put together and very fast-talking and quick-witted. And so is his character. His character is always talking him and Tuck out of situations, and he's sort of the brains behind their operation. And so he's just a perfect match for that character. They're so funny too. They're very different people and very different characters, and but it's nice to see them have such a great friendship on screen and off screen. There's very, very few women who are as funny as Chelsea, you know, really. So we were so lucky to get her in the film, and she just, I just think she's one of those women that all girls I know who have read her books and watch her television show completely relate to her and just think she's so funny because she talks the way girls talk. We are working with the one and only McG, and he's just so great. We have a lot of fun. I've known McG for a while too, just around Hollywood, and I've always wanted to work with him because he has endless enthusiasm, and he's just very intuitive about how he wants his movie to come across. And he has great strengths in that he really knows how to match visuals with music. And that's such a great, fun thing when you're making a great big popcorn movie like this film, because you want to have fun and you want to hear songs that you know and recognize. But he just brings a joy to the set. This is sort of a first for me. I've never really made an action film. So they've got all kinds of crazy sequences of car chases and shootouts and people jumping off of buildings. And So it's really fun. We're having a really good time. You know, the boys are shooting guns and getting to do all kinds of crazy action, and they're good at it too, which is really great.
I think the story of This Means War is very much the domestic difficulties of being James Bond and what happens when a woman with the prowess and strength of Reese Witherspoon comes into your life. You're willing to let everything go and throw it all away in the spirit of love and marry her, come hell or high water. And that's really what the movie's all about. Two guys that could have any woman in the world, and along comes Reese and Cupid's arrow, hits him square in the buttocks, and they go right after it. Well, we were going for just the archetype of, you know, the classic British special agent. Naturally, Bond comes to mind. The classic American agent, naturally, the Ethan Hunt archetype comes to mind with what Tom Cruise has done in the Mission Impossible pictures, and we're having fun with that, with what Tom Hardy brings and what Chris Pine brings, and we want them to be very proficient in the world of agenting and their skill sets with firearms and fighting and everything they do, but when it comes to affairs of the heart, they're just like everybody else, and you never know. So, you know, what I think is sexy about that world is it's life and death, and it's international, and it's the antithesis of what most people experience day to day in cubicle life. I mean, I think we all want to travel around the world, go to exotic locations, cheat death, play around in fancy toys, fire guns, chase women, and be reminded of our mortality on a regular basis. I think it's a fun, aspirational life that we all sort of aspire and dream about. Reese is the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. She's unbelievably talented. Her character is engaging. She's smart. She's funny. She's appealing to the Reese Witherspoon army of female fans. And hopefully in this picture, we've expanded her fan base into the male audience who can think, wow, she's really, really a sexy, powerful, capable woman that's appealing to both men and to women. When it came to Chris's character, FDR, you needed a rogue. And I wanted somebody who was lovable, even in the face of supreme self-confidence. And to me, the greatest example of that is Han Solo. I love you. I know. You know, just that sort of fun where you say, that guy's so self-confident, he's borderline cocky, but I absolutely love him. He's such a swashbuckling, charismatic guy. I love his self-assuredness, and I want to hate him for it, but I'll be damned if I'm not attracted to him. And I think Chris Pine has a way of doing that where you can't help but love what he's bringing, even though, by his own admission, he does everything in sort of, a decidedly self-assured way. And the ability to do it with such self-assuredness, but still be charming, is a real gift, because most people can't do it. And Chris is a young actor who has that skill set. Tom Hardy plays the character of Tuck, and he's incredible. He's extraordinarily good looking, he's very, very tough, he's a fundamental fighter, the guy's an MMA fighter, and just that rough and tumble Paul Newman, Steve McQueen thing that he brings is extraordinary. And his style of speaking, his accent, his command of language, the way he views the world. I mean, where else are you gonna find somebody that's that funny, that's that talented of an actor, that intense, that tough? He just hits all those beats that are required of the character. And he was the one and only choice when it came to playing the Tuck character. That was it. Tom Hardy, and we all shrugged and said, either we get him or we don't make the movie.